Growing up, I had a connection to sports. My dad was a big football fan, so I would watch every game with him, and I became super invested in each game. Then I started playing sports, like soccer and softball, but volleyball was the one that I stuck with. I am fortunate enough to have the coaches that pushed me and my teammates to reach our full potential. In order to do this, they have taught me a lot about the mental side of sports. I learned how to combat pressure, when to take a deep breath, and how to step back to look at and think of the game from a different perspective. This is a side that many people don't see or don't understand. I wanted to show people this side of sports in my project. During this year, I also started to pick up photography. I really enjoyed capturing different emotions and challenging the viewers to look at what the deeper meaning is of the photo. By using tools such as Adobe Photoshop in my photography class, I was able to convey a clearer message to the people who saw my photo. These two things have been something that I've enjoyed and become passionate about, so it was clear to me that I wanted my project to revolve around these things. For my project, I decided to use photos of myself playing volleyball and use Photoshop to express not only what the athlete is thinking, but also what got them there. The dedication, practice, resilience, and so much hard work. I used 3 photos, one where my team had just won a big game, another where I am chasing to pick up a ball, and another one where I am hitting. I think these will allow me to show different sides of the game. The excitement of a win, the tenacity or drive to hustle, and when everyone looks to you for the next move. Along with using media like photography and Photoshop for my modern myth-making, I am also creating a short story for background about a photographer with growing fame who took the photos. Then, after each photo, I will write a little bit more about the point of view from the photographer to express what the meaning behind the photo is. I created this character of the photographer to have a similar background to me in sports and photography, but her work has been growing in fame and she wants to continue to spread her message. While making my project come to life, I learned a lot about time management skills and was able to explore Photoshop. To the point about time management, I definitely saw the importance of having a schedule and sticking to it. If I had not written out my plans, I would have had a lot more stress and the project would not have come out as I wanted it to. While navigating through Photoshop was tricky at first, I ended up learning a lot about the program and am now able to use it smoothly for this and future projects. Getting used to the programming on Photoshop definitely proved itself to be one of the hardest things about this project. At first I had a tough time navigating through the tools and I ended up having to redo all my photos because the format I started with. I also specifically struggled with finding the right way to have my message come across, without having the photos look too cluttered or too empty. However, once I got familiar with the program through a meeting with Despair and could smoothly use the program, I was able to test out different formats to see what worked best with my vision. In the Odyssey, we get to go on a journey through what Odysseus has been through in the past 10 years. Over and over again, we see him and his crew making mistakes due to Odysseus' hubris and their lack of critical thinking skills. An example of this is when Odysseus has just escaped from the Cyclopses and had blinded one of them. He calls out his name so they give him a sort of recognition. This leads to Poseidon knowing who Odysseus is and gives him the motive to keep Odysseus away from Ithaca. It was by no means necessary for Odysseus to call out his name, yet at this moment, along with others, we see his hubris shine through and see how his lack of thinking leads to his own downfall. If Odysseus would have thought deeper about this and other moments on his journey, he could have saved a lot of his crew and a lot of his own time. This exemplifies the importance of stepping back to think of these things, learning our tendencies, weaknesses, strengths, and using the power of our brain. My project to me is deeper than photos and a story about an athlete. It is about learning to translate these skills to some moments or parts of our lives where there is more room for us to learn, grow, and work together to understand each other and ourselves better. Thank you.